I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're neurodivergent or neurotypical or whatever. Everybody works in a different way than the person next to them. Why do we
Yeah.
expect that everybody works in the same way? I cannot get my head around that. Even with tools, right? You're a Mac person or you're a PC person. If I go to a company and they're like, you have to use a PC, that's a non-starter for me, because it will take me a year to learn to get up to par with what I was doing on my Mac. So why would I spend all of my effort learning how to use a computer when I already know how to use a computer? And like, move the barrier, remove it, and let people focus on their work. And I think this is what it comes down to with flexibility. You know, I'm sitting here, I have a weighted blanket on my lap right now. If we were in person, I couldn't have a weighted blanket on my lap. It makes me more comfortable. The temperature in my room is comfortable. The volume is comfortable. I don't have people walking by distracting me. I mean, somebody walked by a few minutes ago and I was looking out the window. It's, you know, we all have our different ways of doing things. Some people want to be in the office. Great. Make that an option for people who want to be in the office. But there isn't research that shows that people being physically together is more productive. And I actually think that there's plenty of research that shows, in fact, the opposite, because people are getting back 2 hours of their day they're not spending in the car. For me, it's not just 2 hours in the car. It's also the hour to get ready to like go out in public and, you know, do my hair and my makeup and the things that I don't necessarily have to do if I'm meeting somebody over a screen or if I'm not having video calls that day. I just think the kind of rigid rules of what works look like just don't apply anymore. And the genie's out of the bottle, can't put it back in. And Gen Z, who's coming up, they want none of that. And so we may be in this weird transition for the next few years where people are like, you have to come back to the office. I don't think it's going to last. I think we are entering a new paradigm, and I don't know what it looks like yet. I don't think that it's all remote all the time, but I do think that there will be a much bigger emphasis on flexibility, not just in where you work, but like, again, tools and, oh, you want to use Canva instead of Photoshop? Go ahead, right? Oh, you prefer to use Keynote over PowerPoint? Go ahead, right? Like, I don't see why those things have to be mandated, especially if they just create an obstacle to somebody's job. So, yeah.
No, it's interesting. And I think, you know, that flexibility is probably certainly the case for smaller and medium-sized businesses. But yeah, the amount of large corporates I know where, you know, incredibly rigid policies, not just on work, but as you say, on the tech you use, on your work phone, the applications you're allowed to use. Yeah, it's crazy. And if, you know, you've got so many people leaving and joining your company every year, and, you know, lots of people aren't going to be proficient in the tools that you use. And when they can use something else and just slot in, it's, that's a really interesting point.
And I will say one more thing that I think is especially important for neurodivergent people, which is that we spend a significant amount of energy masking all the time, right? Masking means trying to hide the things that make us seem different than neurotypical people, so that we just seem, quote, normal, right? And that we fit in with everybody else. For me, I bounce a lot. I'm bouncy. I spin in my chair. I'm chatty when I get going. I'm like very talkative. All of these things that I spend a significant amount of effort hiding when I'm in large groups, right? Because I just want to fit in. I don't want to stand out. I want to be like everybody else sometimes. If I'm spending X amount of effort doing that, that's effort I'm not spending on my job or solving the problem or strategizing or doing whatever I'm being paid to do. And so it feels like if we can just remove that, just take away the things that don't need to be there to free up some of that energy to let all of our people use their brains on the things we want them to use their brains for, we would get so much more done.